Unsorted mixed waste is transported to EnviroHub from around the county and emptied out at the plant. From the ground, it is lifted by a mechanical grabber and placed into the hopper, where it's shredded down to a maximum size of 300 millimeters. The shredder is fitted with an adjustable setting to ensure an even feed and spread of materials across the belts on the whole plant. This is necessary for the advanced optical technology used in the plant to view and sort the waste efficiently. From the shredder, the waste is fed via a long incline belt to the trommel screen. The big drum tumbles the waste to separate all fine material, such as soil and dust, and organics such as food waste, which would otherwise contaminate the recycled products. This filters out at the base of the trommel and will be turned into a refuse-derived fuel product known as RDF. Everything else continues on to the ballistic separator. The rotating paddles on this belt walk everything upwards, but only the two-dimensional material make it over onto the next sorting line. The three-dimensional items can't make it to the top and fall back onto the 3D line below. From the top of the separator, the 2D material now falls onto the accelerator belt, passing under the first optical sorter. The optics are positioned over the belt and recognize the different classes of material. Here, this optic is set to separate soft plastic film. When it sees an item of soft plastic approaching, it triggers a jet of air which hits the item as it crosses the end of the belt, blowing it onto the conveyor that sits behind the optic hood. From here, it passes to a hand-picking belt where any contamination is removed. However, the process is so effective it isn't usually necessary for this to be manned. The material that is still on the belt after the first optic drops down onto the second accelerator belt beneath. It then passes to the second optic, which is set to select all paper and card products, which fall into the bay behind the optic hood and down onto the hand-picking belt where any contamination is removed. Usually, there are 2 people working on this belt to ensure the highest possible quality. So back to the 3D material. Firstly, this is conveyed past a powerful magnet, which removes all ferrous metal. What remains is then passed through the eddy current machine, which removes all the non-ferrous metals, such as aluminium. All metals are collected in the skips below. The non-metallic material left on the belt then does 2 passes through the third optic. The first pass recovers plastic on one side, and the second pass recovers all paper and card on the other. Anything left will also go into RDF. All the sorted non-metallic materials end up in these bays below the plant. Periodically, the contents will be baled and wrapped ready to be transported.
Sustainable landfill reclamation technology is to restore as well as recirculate active and closed landfills which have urgent landfill reclamation needs. This technology consists of pre-stabilization, separation, and solid recovered fuel production. The first step is pre-stabilization, a process which, if necessary, is used to remove explosive gases, including methane, as well as potentially odorous gases such as ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. Inserting injection and extraction well into landfill waste layer, connecting them to pre-stabilization system, and then injecting mixture of air and aerosol less than 5 to 25 micrometer into landfill waste layer through distributor. After that, extracting explosive gas and odor gas generated from this process to treat with biofilter, and then excavating and transporting stabilized landfill waste to separation area. The second step is the separation process, which sorts the landfill waste into soil, combustible materials, incombustible materials, and metal. The landfill waste is removed from the landfill and transported to the separation units, where a backhoe places it into the automatic feed hopper. If a potential odor is detected during the separation, a deodorant is sprayed into the waste material. In the first step, a trommel screen is used to remove and separate the soils present in the landfill waste, which are less than 35 millimeters in diameter. The trommel screen is equipped with customized blades on the inside and brushes on the outside to prevent clogging of the screen by the soils and wastes. The recovered soils of less than 35 millimeters diameter, which contain non-soil materials such as fragments of organic material, vinyl, or plastic, are not allowed to be used for cover soils or construction filling. The trommel screen is combined with a rotating rake, allowing highly accurate and efficient sorting and separation of those smaller fragments, allowing the separated soils to be recycled. After passing through the trommel screen rotating rake, the separated soil is transferred by a conveyor to a storage pile, typically located outside the enclosure. After removal of the under 35 millimeter clean soils by the trommel screen rotating rake, the remaining waste is separated into combustibles and incombustibles in a series of 5 separation stages, which comprises the second phase of the process. Metals included in the combustible fraction are recovered by a magnet and are transferred by a conveyor to a storage pile, which is typically located outside the enclosure. The incombustible fraction is transferred by a conveyor to a storage pile, which is typically located outside the enclosure. The soil and the incombustibles recovered from the sorting system can be recycled and used as fill material, cover soil, construction base, or other uses. The third phase of the process is the production of refuse-derived fuel, RDF, from the remaining combustible materials by a series of shredding, purifying, grinding, and drying steps. The combustibles enter a shredder and are reduced in size to less than 150 millimeters in size. Any incombustibles remaining in the fraction are removed by another separator to enhance the combustible's quality and heat value as RDF. Any metal remaining in the combustibles fraction is removed by a magnet and ground into particles less than 80 millimeters in size by a first stage grinder. Incombustible foreign matters in the ground combustible stream are removed by a vibrating screen. Light combustible material is removed by a tornado vacuum device. Heavy combustible components are resorted by a combustibles precision separator. The combustible materials recovered by the tornado vacuum and the precision separator then enter a second grinder where they are ground to less than 15 millimeters in diameter. The ground combustibles are dried as necessary to meet the standards of RDF by passing through a first stage and second stage dryer, producing fluff-type RDF. Finally, the fluff-type RDF enters a compactor and baler, producing a compressed cube to facilitate storage and transportation to the refuse to energy facility.
Whatever we do, energy is part of it. It warms us, lights up our lives, and fuels our progress. The world is facing a profound global challenge with steadily increasing carbon emissions that impact our climate. Every day we work hard to make the energy supply greener, more independent, and cost-effective for our customers and the societies that we're part of. We build our energy supply based on 4 core beliefs. 1. Think green, and we take the lead when it comes to exchanging coal with sustainable biomass at our power stations. 2. Ensure security of supply. While we expand renewable energy, we recognize that the world still needs oil and gas. That's why we invest in developing Europe's oil and gas resources to keep society running and reduce dependence on imports. 3. Save energy. We actively support our customers in consuming less energy. That reduces pollution, helps save money on the energy bill, and forms strong partnerships with our customers. 4. Make it competitive. The costs of offshore wind need to be reduced. We've set a clear goal. By 2020, we aim to have cut the cost of offshore wind production by 1/3, bringing it a crucial step closer to that of traditional energy sources. Basically, it's all about the will to change to a global leader in renewable energy. Green, independent, and cost-efficient energy. That's what we believe in. Our vision is to lead the energy transformation.